So 2025 is just halfway over, and the sky is already glitching in real time. From glowing triangles to rotating cubes, people are spotting some seriously weird stuff up there. Some of it filmed, some not so lucky. Here are the top 10 eeriest sky sightings of this year. Let's open up the files. Let's start with Mexico City, January 18th, 2025. Around 4:30 p.m, multiple videos popped up showing a massive, black, almost pixelated cube hanging motionless over the downtown skyline. Not flying, just suspended. Witnesses all described a strange absence of wind or noise, and a few said their phone cameras went fuzzy the closer they zoomed. Analysts claiming it's just a weather balloon had a hard time explaining the harsh 90-degree angles and the way it seemed to absorb light. It was there for 17 minutes. Then, gone. What makes this more interesting? The same cube was seen in the same shape hovering briefly above Madrid a week later. Government silence? Predictable? Air Force radar? Supposedly didn't register anything at all. Of course it didn't. Northern Norway is no stranger to auroras, but what people saw on March 4th this year wasn't green, it was white, and fast. At around 11:12 p.m, dozens of hikers and remote lodge workers reported a glowing spherical object streaking across the sky. But here's the part weirder than any UFO story. It stopped mid-air. It hovered in an unnatural stillness, pulsing every few seconds like a heartbeat. Then it flashed, once, and vanished. Nothing on meteor tracking, and satellites didn't pick it up. Some locals swear it wasn't light, but something translucent. Even 10 days later, the snow beneath where it hovered reflected faint traces of light at night. Scientists from Tromsø chalked it up to ionized particles. Sounds technical, still doesn't explain the light pulse, or why their sensors blacked out for 7 minutes. In Tokyo's Kodaira district, March 26th, residents looked up to see what initially looked like paper lanterns. Then they stopped moving. 8 glowing spheres, arranged in 2 cross-like formations, hovered perfectly still over the district for nearly 10 minutes. Their spherical glow flickered, not like fire, more like dying LEDs. Zero wind, no sound. All of them dissolved simultaneously like smoke. A TikTok live caught them in real time before being swiftly shadow banned. Well, that's not suspicious at all. Interestingly, a CCTV feed from a grocery store 1 mile away shows small light distortions flickering through the air just before the cluster appeared. Still unverified, but it's in the file. And if this was a light projection, who's got that kind of equipment? April 10th, over Istanbul's Golden Horn, a huge dark ring appeared drifting lazily against the clouds, thick, smoky, and circular. But it didn't behave like smoke. It maintained perfect symmetry. No fading, no tail. People posted videos of it gliding silently over the city before it gently lifted higher and vanished into the cloud layer. One video filmed from a rooftop showed pigeons avoiding the airspace directly beneath the object, circling it nervously. Turkish meteorologists gave a very collective shrug since no fires or industrial activity matched the timing or direction. Ring-shaped UFOs aren't new, but this one was different. Too coordinated, too calm, too deliberate. Lake Chad region, May 7th. Right before sunrise, an aid drone captured 6 reflective, metallic-looking objects arranged in a crisp V formation. They moved slow, about the speed of a bird, but were enormous, likely hundreds of feet across. What made them eerie wasn't how they flew, but how coordinated they were. Foils used on radar testing craft? Maybe. Or maybe something not ours. The drone footage was quietly pulled from the NGO's archive site within days. The only surviving copy exists thanks to an anonymous Reddit thread titled, "Are these wings or walls?" These things didn't flap, didn't hum, they just sliced the air in tandem and disappeared into high clouds. One of the best captured events this year, if you can still find the footage. Over western Montana, May 22nd, ranchers outside Missoula reported seeing a dome-shaped sky bubble, translucent but with a faint blue hue, just sitting in the air, 300 feet above grazing fields. It made no noise and didn't appear to reflect sunlight. The weird part, people nearby said when they looked directly at it rippled, like heat distortion. But binoculars made it seem nearly solid. It stayed for 4 hours. Then, like someone flipped a switch, it was gone. The FAA claimed it might have been polarised fog formation. You ever seen fog defy gravity over dry farming land on a windless day? Yeah, me neither. June 3rd, over Alamogordo, New Mexico. Locals noticed a grid-shaped pattern of lights sparkling in the upper atmosphere. They blinked on and off like Christmas lights in a perfect 4 formation. Timed, measured. Whole event lasted 140 seconds. Amateur radio astronomers tried syncing it with Starlink satellites. No match. The lights weren't attached to a craft. No outline was visible, but 3 pilots from local airfields said the lights aligned too perfectly to be coincidence. One described it as like a solar spreadsheet hovering above the desert. Files from a weather balloon launched shortly after captured no readable EM anomalies. But several night vision cameras later showed a ghost imprint of the grid projected on distant mountain reflections. Rosario, Argentina. June 18th. Farmers spotted what they thought was a kite, then realised it was hovering above cloud level, with sharp angles, triangular in shape, rotating slowly, almost imperceptibly. A geometry professor who happened to be nearby described the structure as pyramidical, but not quite Euclidean, whatever that means. The sun caught on its edge only once every few rotations, but the shape seemed thicker than a drone. No sound. Multiple videos caught it. One infrared camera showed it absorbing, not reflecting, ambient heat. Video later flagged for globally blocked content, which, let's be honest, just adds to the mystery. July 1st, 2025, very recent. Over the Baltic Sea, dozens aboard a ferry saw a massive wheel-like bright light in the sky. Think Ferris wheel made of light, except with no spokes, just a ring. It rotated unnaturally smooth, counter to prevailing wind. Cell footage shows the light slipping in and out of visibility, as if struggling to exist in this dimension, or maybe pinging in from a different frequency. 2 passengers reportedly developed temporary vertigo and nausea while staring at it. No weather anomalies, no joyrides, and no answers. Some say it was a disrupted satellite halo. Others think it was a window. Into what? That's above my pay grade. We'll end with one of the strangest from this year. Arctic research teams near Murmansk spotted a floating, reflective surface at 75,000 feet, a mirror-like sphere. It remained completely motionless, despite 80 mph winds at that altitude. A Russian weathercraft recorded video, then lost all onboard memory logs after approaching within 30 miles. Physicists across Europe dubbed it anomalous reflectivity sphere. 1. Technical speak for no idea, but weird. The sphere reflected the Earth below in real time, but distortions around the perimeter suggested it may not have been reflecting at all, maybe projecting. The feed cuts off mid-sentence from the craft's autopilot log. Naturally, all footage is classified, except for one still frame that leaked on a Czech data forum for about 4 hours, then gone. If you've made it this far, thank you for letting me whisper creepy things into your ears tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and make sure notifications are on. There's a new video every weekday night, so we'll be back before you know it. Until then, maybe don't stare at the sky for too long. That was your dose of the unknown. See you in the next file. Subscribe for more of the unknown.